Hello guys, this is 12th Harbinger and welcome to my channel. In this video, I am going to give you a build guide for Dehya. Without any further ado, let's jump right into it. Let's start with a skill explanation. On Dehya's elemental skill, Molten Inferno, she will deal indomitable flame damage and will create a field called Fury Sanctum. When an opponent within a Fury Sanctum field takes damage, the field will unleash a coordinated attack, dealing AoE pyro damage to them based on Dehya's attack and max HP. This effect can be triggered every 2.5 seconds. Characters within this field have increased resistance, and when they take damage, a portion of that damage will be transferred to Dehya. Dehya will take this damage over 10 seconds. The field duration is 12 seconds and cooldown is 20 seconds. Dehya can reposition her fiery sanctum field by using her skill inside it. This is called ranging flame. Sadly, the field created this way will inherit the remaining duration of the previous field and can only be used once throughout a fiery sanctum field. This is similar to Fisher's Oz. After using Dehya's elemental burst, Leonine Bite, Dehya will enter Blazing Lioness state and increase her resistance to interruption. In this state, Dehya will continuously unleash the Flame Mains Fist, dealing pyro damage based on her attack and max HP. And when its duration ends, she will unleash an Incineration Drive, dealing AoE pyro damage based on her attack and max HP. If a fiery phantom field created by Dehya's elemental skill, Molten Inferno, exists when this ability is unleashed, Dehya will retrieve it and then create another field once Blazing Lioness duration expires. The duration of this field works exactly like her elemental skill's ranging flame. Her burst only lasts for 4 seconds with a cooldown of 18 seconds and energy cost of 70. Since these attacks are not considered normal attacks, so she won't work with characters like Yelan and Xingqiu. Her passive, Unstinting Succor, will decrease 60% damage she takes through mitigation within 6 seconds after Dehya creates the fiery sanctum field. Additionally, within 9 seconds after she releases Molten Inferno Indomitable Flame, she will grant all party members the Gold Forged Form state. This state will further increase a character's resistance to interruption when they are within the fiery sanctum field. This field can be activated once every 18 seconds. Her second passive, Stalwart and True, will recover 20% of Dehya's HP and will restore 6% of her HP for 2 seconds for the next 10 seconds after her HP falls below 40%. This effect can be triggered once every 20 seconds. Dehya has some good artifact options that can also buff your teammates. She can use 4-piece Tenacity of Millelith. It will provide attack buff to your teammates and can be best one if you use her with another DPS. This could be a best set as it will increase the team's overall damage. If you want to maximize her personal damage, 4-piece Emblem of Severed Fate will be her best in slot. As Dehya has high energy cost, so you will need to have some energy on her, and by using this artifact, you can convert the energy recharge to burst damage. And alternatively, you can mix and use 2 pieces of Crimson Witch, Noblesse, 18% attack sets. I don't recommend 2-piece Tenacity over these sets, as from the pre-release data, her HP scaling is not that great as compared to her attack scalings. For artifact stats, attack percent on stands. As I mentioned earlier, her attack scaling is better than her HP. Pyro damage bonus on Goblet and crit rate or damage on Circlet. For substats, prioritize crit rate or damage, energy recharge, attack percent and HP percent. With another battery like Bennett, around 140 energy recharge should be enough as there's a huge gap of 14 seconds between her next elemental burst cast, so you can easily fill her burst within that duration. Dehya's Bastion slot weapon for maximizing her personal damage is a signature weapon, Beacon of the Red Sea. It has 608 base attack and 33.1% crit rate. It gives 20% attack buff on hitting an opponent with elemental skill and additional 20% attack buff on taking damage. It also gives 32% HP buff when the character is not protected by a shield. Other good 5-star weapons for Dehya are Wolf's Gravestone, Redhorn Stone Thresher, the Unforged and Skyward Pride. For 4-star options, Serpent Spine, Akomaru, Luxurious Sea Lord, Prototype Archaic, Blackleaf Slasher are all good on Dehya for maximizing her damage. Favonius or Sacrificial Greatsword are also good as they give energy recharge which Dehya needs. For support build, Favonius Greatsword will be her best option for providing energy for the team. If your team doesn't need the extra energy particles, you can use Sacrificial Greatsword as it will reset your skill CD and you can have more uptime on it. Moving on to our team comps. Bennett is the best support for Dehya as he provides a lot of attack buff while also healing, and he will also be the pyro battery for her. And if you have him at C6, you can infuse Dehya's normal attacks with pyro. This is great if you use her as main DPS as her burst has painfully long cooldown. You can also use her as sub DPS with characters like Ganyu and Ayato. I don't recommend with Ayaka as she is better off with freeze teams. You can use her with Ganyu to melt her charge shots, and the off-field cryo of Ganyu can allow Dehya to do some melt damage. Ayato also has an off-field hydro application. All these characters that you can see on the screen can work really well with Dehya. Here are some of our example team comps. Moving on to our constellations. Her first constellation increases her max HP by 20% and increases her elemental skill and burst damage by 3.6% and 6% of her max HP respectively. The second constellation will increase her field's duration by 4 seconds after repositioning it and will increase the field damage by 50% after taking a hit. Third and fifth constellations are talent levels. Fourth constellation will restore her energy and HP after using her burst. And the last constellation will increase the crit rate of her burst by 10% and will increase the crit damage by 15% and the duration of her burst by 0.5 seconds after she scores a crit hit in her burst form. This effect can be triggered every 0.2 seconds and her burst can be extended for 2 seconds max, and maximum crit damage that can be increased is 60%. Honestly, her constellation doesn't seem that great, so I don't think it's worth to pull for them, and she will be added to standard banner so you can eventually get them. Now should you pull for Dehya? I don't recommend pulling for her as she will be added to standard banner in 3.6. If you like Dehya, her cool animations, you can pull for her but don't pull for her constellations, as saving those primogems for future characters will be a better option. I hope this video was helpful. If I missed anything or gave any wrong info, I will make sure to put it in pinned comments. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to my channel for more Genshin Impact videos. That's all for this video. Thanks for watching.